There's one hire that determines whether you're still CEO 18 months from now. And almost everyone gets it wrong. Most founders hire their first VP the same way they hire their first 10 employees. They look at who's available, they look at who interviews well, they look at who says yes, and then they spend the next 2 years recovering from that decision. I worked with a founder named Sarah, Series A company, about 12 million in ARR, growing fast. She needed a VP of sales. The board was pushing. Investors were asking about it in every update. And Sarah felt pressure. So she did what most founders do. She hired the person who was available and ready to start. Someone with a big company background, someone who'd done it before, someone who interviewed incredibly well. The problem? That VP had scaled a sales team from 50 million to 200 million. Sarah needed someone to scale from 2 million to 20 million. Completely different game. Different systems, different team structure, different selling motion. Within 6 months, Sarah's sales team was moving slower, not faster. Why? Because her VP was building the infrastructure for a $200 million company, when Sarah needed the velocity of a $5 million company. You know what happened? Sarah had to make a change. 18 months in, after losing 2 of her best early sales reps, after missing 2 quarters of targets, after her board started questioning her judgment. And here's the part that matters. This wasn't a hiring mistake. This was a strategic mistake. Sarah hired for credentials instead of context. She hired for her current problem instead of her next inflection point. She hired someone who'd been successful at scale when she needed someone who knew how to create scale. From first principles, here's what's actually happening. Your first VP level hire isn't just filling a role. They're setting the template for how your entire leadership team operates. They're teaching your company what executive means. They're establishing the pace, the standards, the operating rhythm. If you hire someone who's optimized for a different stage, you're not just getting the wrong person, you're installing the wrong operating system. Let me give you another example. I worked with a founder who hired a VP of engineering from Google. Brilliant technologist, incredible resume. Everyone on the team was excited. The problem? The VP's entire playbook was built for a company with infinite resources, multiple quarters to ship features, consensus-driven decision-making, process over speed. And this founder needed to ship fast, iterate, and beat competitors to market. Within 90 days, the entire engineering team was drowning in process. Velocity dropped by half. The founder couldn't figure out what was wrong. The VP wasn't doing anything obviously bad, just implementing best practices. But those best practices were for a 10,000 person company, not a 40-person startup trying to find product market fit. Here's what I've learned after placing more than 400 executives. The first leadership hire every founder gets wrong is hiring for where they are instead of where they're going. You're at 2 million in ARR, you need to get to 20 million. So you hire someone who's comfortable at 2 million because they feel like a safe bet. They match your current reality. But 12 months from now, when you're at 8 million, you've already outgrown them. And now you're in the painful position of either keeping someone who's become a bottleneck or making a change and dealing with all the disruption that creates. Neither is good. So what's the answer? You hire 12 to 18 months ahead, not 3 months behind. You look at the company you're building, not the company you have today. You ask yourself, what will we need at 20 million in ARR? Then you hire that person now. Even if it feels like overkill, even if they seem too senior for your current stage. Because here's what I know from watching hundreds of companies scale. The ones that win hire leaders who can grow into the role. The ones that struggle hire leaders who are perfect for today and obsolete by next year. And the difference isn't just outcome, it's velocity, it's momentum, it's whether you're spending your time building or replacing. Let me tell you about a founder who got this right. Series A company, about 8 million in ARR. He needed a VP of engineering. Most candidates he talked to were comfortable running teams of 20 to 30 engineers. That's exactly what he had. But this founder asked himself, where will we be in 18 months? The answer? 60 to 80 engineers, multiple product lines, distributed teams. So he didn't hire for 20 engineers, he hired for 60. He found someone who had built and scaled engineering teams from 30 to 100. Someone who knew what breaks at 50 engineers. Someone who could set up the systems today that would work at scale tomorrow. And yes, it felt like overkill at first. Some of the team questioned whether they needed someone that senior. But 12 months later, that VP had built the foundation that let them scale smoothly. No painful reorganizations, no leadership gaps, no velocity drop, just steady, compounding growth. Because they'd hired ahead, not behind. Your first VP level hire is either a multiplier or an anchor. There's no middle ground. If you hire someone who matches your current stage, you're hiring an anchor. Someone you'll need to replace or work around within 18 months. If you hire someone who can scale with you, you're hiring a multiplier. Someone who compounds your velocity instead of capping it. And the difference in cost? Minimal. The difference in outcome? Massive. Here's my framework for getting this right. First, map your inflection points. Where are you now in revenue? Where do you need to be in 18 months? What breaks between here and there? Second, hire for the break point, not the current state. If you're at 5 million ARR heading to 25 million, you'll hit breaks at 10 million and 20 million. Hire someone who's navigated both. Third, look for pattern recognition, not just experience. The best first VPs aren't the ones who've done your exact stage once. They're the ones who've seen multiple companies scale and know what to anticipate. Fourth, test for adaptability. Ask them, what changed as you scaled from X to Y? Ask them, what did you have to unlearn? The ones who can't answer that question haven't actually grown. They've just been in bigger environments. And finally, trust your instinct about velocity. Do they move fast? Do they make decisions? Do they create momentum or wait for perfect information? Because at the end of the day, your first VP needs to match your pace, not your size. Here's what I want you to consider. Every founder I know who's scaled successfully made this shift. They stopped hiring for comfort. They started hiring for capacity. They stopped optimizing for fits right now. They started optimizing for can scale with us. And the companies that do this, they pull away from their competitors, not because they have better products, not because they have more funding, because they have leadership that compounds instead of constrains. Your first VP level hire is the most important talent decision you'll make in the next 2 years. Not because it's the hardest role to fill, but because it sets the standard for every leadership hire after it. Get it right, and you build momentum. Get it wrong, and you spend 18 months recovering. The choice is yours. Hire for today and pay the price tomorrow, or hire for tomorrow and build velocity today. I know which pain leads to the outcomes founders actually want.